There's a teenager trapped inside the worst defeat in Roman history. Around him, Rome's greatest army is dying. Most survivors of a day like Cannae learn to fear the man who did it. This one did something stranger. He studied him, every trap, every trick, every move. 14 years later, they would meet again. This is the final chapter of our trilogy. Hannibal showed us that winning battles is not the same as winning wars. Fabius showed us that patience can save a state, but patience alone cannot end a war. Ending it took a student. The rarest figure in history, because the student must do the one thing pride forbids. Admit the enemy is better. Publius Cornelius Scipio grew up inside this war. His father and his uncle both commanded against Carthage in Spain. Both were killed there. By his mid-20s, Hannibal's war had cost this young man almost everything he loved. So when Rome needed a commander for Spain, a theatre so cursed no senior general wanted it, Scipio volunteered. And in Spain, the student ran his first masterpiece. He ignored the armies and went for their untakeable capital. New Carthage, their stronghold, their treasury, their supply base. He took it in days across a lagoon called Impassable. Surprise, indirection, hitting what the enemy needs instead of what he shows you, that is Hannibal's own language. By 30, Scipio had driven Carthage out of Spain completely. He came home a hero and proposed the unthinkable. Leave Hannibal alone in Italy, sail south to Africa instead, and attack the city of Carthage itself. For 15 years, Rome had asked one question: how do we beat Hannibal? And the answer was always graves. Scipio's insight was that it was simply the wrong question. You don't beat an unbeatable man, you make him irrelevant. The old guard fought him, led by Fabius himself. The Senate gave him Sicily, volunteers, and permission designed to fail. It did not fail. Scipio landed in Africa and shattered Carthage's allies within a single campaign season. And then it happened. Carthage, terrified for its own walls, ordered Hannibal home, undefeated and suddenly irrelevant. 15 years of victories, abandoned in one order. But Hannibal still had one weapon Rome had never learned to stop. At Zama, the sources say, the two men met face to face before the battle and spoke. Then they fought. Hannibal opened with 80 war elephants. Scipio simply opened lanes in his lines and let them thunder through, harmlessly. Then his cavalry swept the wings and closed a ring behind the Carthaginian army. Cannae returned to its maker. It was Hannibal's first true defeat and his last battle. The war that consumed a generation was finally over. Rome gave Scipio a name of glory, Africanus, conqueror of Africa, and then, slowly, Rome unmade him. The same men who starved his expedition now dragged the saviour into court, on charges of corruption and theft. On one trial day, the anniversary of Zama, he simply reminded Rome what day it was and walked out. He withdrew to his estate and never returned. Across the sea, his great rival was hunted into exile too. The two men who defined the age died the same way, discarded by the cities they saved. Genius, patience, humility. Rome spent all three. Subscribe, we're exploring history's greatest minds.